Good morning. You are one day closer to the end of the world. You have been warned because this is Slashers, a horror movie podcast brought to you by two goons who are titillatingly Twitter-pated to take time together to
I really
tease
like
each
where you're
other
going with this. I like it.
about tongue
Dude,
twisters tied
It's okay. We can leave it at that. We can leave it okay.
I wanted a whole paragraph of tease.
Yeah, I can tell. It was very, very titillating. I like it. Testicular.
Testicular, there we go. My mind blanked out. I was like, what word can I do that starts with T? And I was like, Tyrannosaurus.
I mean,
that's literally what my brain went to first. And I was like, I can't reply Tyrannosaurus.
Eventually, let's just fucking loop it back around and we'll start back with the original two goons who have no idea what the fuck they're doing on whatever night we're doing it on. And people will be like, wow, that sounded really good. And you're like, I know, right? Almost like the first time I did it.
Yeah. But the thing is that now we're so much better prepared and we're recording on a regular schedule. We have technology. You see this mic stand, bitches?
Fuck, yeah.
On sale, bitch.
Yeah. How much was that one more time? Just like,
I don't remember. It's super expensive.
You fucking liar.
Ryan's been trying to pay me for it, and I let him reimburse me in ginger beer.
Actually, you could thank Chadwick over there. Thanks, Chad.
Hey, thanks, Chad.
I don't want to take any credit for that.
He's wearing a Maui shirt from Moana that says, "You're welcome." So this is perfect.
He literally doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
So just point to the shirt.
One of those. So, Brian, how have you been since last week when ne'er the two shall meet since met upon a time?
Wow.
I don't know.
That was a mouthful.
Words are hard.
Yeah, I've been good, man. Just busy with work, trying to get things knocked out before the big day.
The vetting. Which I'm in.
Yes, you are.
I have a vest.
Well, I mean, you were going to be in it regardless, but I feel like, especially since I was kind of in yours.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
paying it forward.
Yeah, there you go.
But what's great is I'm co-best man with Jim.
That's right.
But I feel like I've done all the work, right? We can agree.
Wow.
Like if there's a best man, it's me, right? No pressure, but bear in mind, I can mute your recording for the rest of this episode.
You could, absolutely. And just go ahead and do it.
Okay. Click. I literally did it. Uh-oh. I don't know if I'm going to break audition. Hold on.
Oh, bullshit.
I fixed it. Okay.
Whew. Okay, good.
So anyway, what movie are we doing this week?
We are doing The Omen.
Why are we doing The Omen?
Not the remake.
Not the remake,
no.
The Omen.
We're talking about
any of the sequels.
Right. There's a few, right?
Oh, there's a bunch. And there's novelizations.
But you know what's funny is after the fact of watching it twice now within 24 hours, I feel like they can make another remake and make it even better.
For sure.
Right?
I mean, maybe it's kind of thing.
Maybe I just like the content that much where I'm just like, I want to see something that's a little updated. So.
I would just like to see them start with, rather than remaking The Omen over and over again, I'd like to see them progress into Damien the Omen 2 or The Omen 3 Final Conflict and remake those.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That might be a little better.
So I haven't seen either of those. Is that like ones where he's in middle school and then he's in high school?
Middle school and then as an adult. As an adult, Sam Neill plays him.
Oh, shit.
Dr. Grant, Dr. I Got No Eyeballs from Event Horizon himself plays the son of the devil.
Satanic Sam.
Yep. So in terms of the novels, we have The Omen, Damien, Omen 2, Omen 3 Final Conflict, Omen 4 Armageddon, Omen 5 Abomination. In the films, the first three are the same, but Omen 4 is The Awakening, and then there's a remake, and then there was a TV show called The Omen in 1995, and then a TV show called Damien in 2016. Guess what's not on the air anymore? Because it sucked.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a lot of fucking work, though.
It's a huge amount of information to draw upon, and yet people are, I feel like you said, are just going to go back to redo the first one over again, which I can't blame them, the name brand notoriety. But in terms of story, how about something that's a little bit different?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like in Damien the Omen 2, he's like of Harry Potter age, so why not send him to fucking Hogwarts? Right?
I can see that.
What's the big fucking deal?
Essentially, he is who's that blonde fuck?
Malfoy.
Yep, that's him.
Uh-huh.
Right? He's basically Draco Malfoy. You just take him out, put fucking Damien in, and he basically burns the fucking Hogwarts down to the ground.
Which would be so rad. I would love to see a duel where Harry Potter's like, I pulled this sword from the sorting hat. And Damien doesn't say anything. He just looks at a dog, and then you hear this violin, and suddenly Harry's like impaling himself with the sword.
It's just like fucking Latin chorus, like screams everywhere. Wow.
I don't know what that is. Did it sound good?
That sounded really, really good. And that's one of the points I actually wanted to bring up about this film is with all of the Latin singing going on. Me personally, I don't know anything of what they're saying. I had to look it up. Not a big fucking major in Latin, but it's
a dead language.
You can
so people who try and flex intellectually about that, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't exist. I could do cave paintings professionally. Are you impressed? You're fine.
You can literally say like strawberry banana milkshake in Latin with like a chorus in the background, and they're like, that sounds satanic.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and find a Latin translator right now. This is great television. So
do nipple butter.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Nipple butter. Butrium papilla.
Yep, that's summoning fucking a demon from the gates of hell.
So what was it? Strawberry banana rama ding dong?
Strawberry banana milkshake. They don't have milkshake. There's no way there's a fucking Latin word for milkshake.
Mosa sempiana tom fixa est milkshake classica. That's what Google said.
Yeah, I mean, it totally works. Like,
and you're just sitting there at like this 50s diner at some woman named Flo, and you're like, and suddenly there's a Rottweiler, and the lady's like, hey, that dog's against the health code. And you're just like, and suddenly she's like putting her face into the shake maker like it's the Toxic Avenger, and she's like,
yeah, absolutely.
We've watched so many fucking movies already on this show. My brain is just like, hey, let's be referential to things we've already done. I realize I've mentioned Monster Squad about 7 times out of our 20 episodes, a little over 20 episodes.
It's almost like it's your favorite film. Is it a stretch?
No. Yeah, every time I tell somebody I proposed in a Monster Squad shirt, I either get 2 reactions, oh, or yeah. I like the yeah people a little bit more.
Yeah. It's funny how there's an emphasis on how they say oh, because it could be a very excited oh. But
girl.
Then there's also the
oh. Brian.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary on this. What was it? The Curse of the Omen, some bullshit like that.
Okay.
Super dramatized nonsense about the issues with production. Would you like to hear some of the issues they had with production on this film?
Go for it.
All right. So Gregory Peck was in the film. David Seltzer, who wrote it, and producer Mace Newfield were on planes that were struck by lightning or had a near miss while going to England to do their filming.
That's kind of neat.
Then they had chartered a plane to do aerial shots of England, and they were obviously working on a budget, and they were contacted by the charter company who said, hey, we'll give you a discount if you use the next plane. We have a group of, I think it was Japanese or Chinese businessmen who want to take this flight. And they're like, we can save money? Sure. Enjoy. You know what happens to the Chinese businessmen?
Uh-oh.
A bunch of fucking birds flew into the plane's engine.
No.
It crashes and kills a family in a station wagon that were related to the pilot. And what's weird is the airstrip had technology to keep birds away, like making sound, and yet they still were there. They still caused this death. Narrowly missed it. Crazy. Gregory Peck
One would say it's almost cursed.
Here we go. Hence the title of the documentary.
Fucking crazy.
Gregory Peck was in a hotel that was bombed by the IRA. They had a dinner reservation at a restaurant that was firebombed by the IRA just hours before they were supposed to be there.
Fucking IRA, man.
Zookeeper was killed the day after they filmed there because it was bit in the head by a tiger, which was used in a deleted scene. Oh my God. The Rottweilers bit through the protective gear in the cemetery scene, which like they bit through steel like plating, which is unfathomable.
Did they use that in the film? Because I feel like some parts of the cemetery scene looked like terrifyingly real.
I think so.
Because yeah, they're getting fucking mauled, and it doesn't look like they're enjoying it one bit, like for realsies.
On the topic of not enjoying things for realsies, special effects director John Richardson and his assistant Liz Moore, after filming this, were working on another film called A Bridge Too Far, and they got in a car accident, and Liz Moore was decapitated like a character from this film. John Richardson looks across the way and sees the mile marker, or its kilometer marker, 66.6, and they were on a road that led to a town called The Omen.
That's made up.
It's all here. I watched a documentary on it. There are a few other ones, but those are the ones that are just like crazy.
Wow. That is really crazy.
You want to hear about the guy who created the bullshit? He's not a film writer or anything.
Go for it.
So this dude, hombre named Bob Munger, that says that he sells like dishwasher utensils, right? But anyway, he's just a business guy. He's at the Man's Chinese Theater, and he's like, what if the Antichrist was already here and among us? But what if he was a little boy? And he was like legitimately afraid. And then he was like, I got to get in contact with somebody from Hollywood. Like, hey, Hollywood, how do we do this? So he contacts this dude, Harvey, what's his last name? Bernard. They meet for a hamburger. He's like begging for this, right? They're sitting in there. First, he starts asking if Harvey Bernard has read the Book of Revelations. He pitches the Antichrist as a boy. Now, Harvey claims he literally drops the burger and runs out of the restaurant.
Why?
Because he wants to make this movie. And then just weeks before they start filming the movie, Munger calls for a last-minute meeting, and he's like, no, I don't think we should be making this movie. The devil's greatest strength is his, quote, cloak of invisibility, going back to our Harry Potter, which is probably what was on my brain. And he thought the film was going to be dangerous. So he started a prayer chain for the cast and crew.
Oh, God.
Bro, it's your idea. You set this in motion. Right? Like,
the guy's so extra.
Yeah. That'd be like, you're sitting there, and this is what I imagine. Might be a little weird. Bear with me. Guys who draw anime porn.
Right.
Do they draw the porn and then they masturbate at their own porn? Because that's kind of what this is like. If you're sitting there and you're coming up with horror ideas and you're horrified by your horror ideas, it's as pathetic to me as masturbating at your own drawings.
I feel like the guys that draw the anime or the hentai anime porn, same one and the same. I feel like they live it. I don't think
live your best life.
Well, it's like they create like the furry porn stuff, and then they're like, now I'm gonna dress up as it, and now I'm a pony. So
it all makes sense.
Hey, but you know what? You do you.
It's evolutionary, like the Pokemon porn that they're drawing.
Yeah,
you start off and you're like, hey, what would happen if Attack on Titan was all just naked people? Right? Is that a topical reference? We were talking about this before. I don't anime. Is that good? Are the giants in that naked without
they
skin?
Are, absolutely. And that is a brutal anime.
Do the giants not have skin?
They're like giant babies.
Ugh.
But they're like babies though, right? Yeah. It's kind of, it's weird.
I found there is a fetish for men who, it was on an article. It was scholarly. Men who are obsessed with the concept of a giant woman taking them, putting them in a ball, shoving them up their vagina. There's like a genre of porn for that.
There's a genre of porn for just about everything.
People who are like, I like sour cream like the day after it goes bad. And they're like, oh, we got a bunch of porn for it. Here's your grandma smearing it over her body in stockings. And you're like, oh.
It wouldn't surprise me if there is a genre of porn for somebody who enjoys the sound of every time Jake and I need to work on this when we go.
Oh, I edit that out on the audio a lot. But I really do.
Somebody's thinking like, oh, do it one more time, please.
Yeah.
Right?
Or actually, I'll tell you one that we both have. We take a drink and we go, ah.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
It's super
apparently,
refreshing.
I do that
and apparently
so much.
It makes people cream in their pants.
I do that so much that my 1-year-old does that now. My wife's like, she finishes breastfeeding and she goes, ah. And I'm like,
oh no.
That must be so weird. But I mean, if she wasn't weird, she wouldn't be my kid. And we'd be having a paternity test.
If anything, that's a compliment to your wife, right?
Yeah, dude. Fresh on tap. Is that an appropriate sound for? Anyway, moving on. We're doing that. There's a bunch of conflicting information as to why Robert doesn't actually kill Damien in the movie. So Gregory Peck apparently had a really hard time on set with the concept of killing a kid because his son, just before filming, I think it was July before they filmed in September, had killed himself. Shot himself in the head.
That's pretty brutal.
So he didn't want to be the guy doing that. So he didn't like it. And effectively, Richard Donner's like, look, let me film it both ways. It's very simple. Then there are certain claims that say the MPAA was like, you cannot fucking kill a child in a movie without being X-rated. And then it seems to be that they did not show an on-screen death. And originally it showed Robert Thorn with the knife above his head. You hear the gun go off and then it cuts. And instead of seeing the 2 graves for...
It just shows 1.
No, it showed 3.
Oh, so
he stabs Damien to death.
And then it's the family that gets buried.
But then, because the movie was like already hitting it when they thought it was...
They're like, oh, fuck that. We got to keep this shit going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was
why not? Why not?
A huge element of it. Alan Ladd Jr. said that he thought that the devil would be impossible to kill. And he was one of the producers.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I actually think I would be okay with just having the gun go off. And then that's the end of the film.
Yeah.
Where you don't know, right?
You're like the end of Reservoir Dogs.
Did he kill Damien? Did he get killed himself? Like, what happened?
I like
you don't
that.
know. Oh.
No, I think that's really good. I think that would be great. Like Harvey Keitel with Tim Ross head in his lap.
Exactly.
Damn.
Such a fucked up ending.
I love that movie so much.
Ending. So
I think that movie has a better twist than Sleepaway Camp. But
yeah.
Anyway, so Harvey Bernard and Richard Donner hated the marketing campaign for the movie. So literally Harvey Bernard claims that he pressed a marketing guy up against the desk threatening him because he was dismissive of the whole like alleged curse about this movie. And then they ended up spending twice the budget of the film to promote the film. And it was a box office smish.
Hell yeah, man. What? It was like $2 million on budget.
We haven't gotten to the statistics yet. So
well, I mean,
if you don't mind.
This is what I do. So
quick question.
Go on.
If you were to name this movie anything but The Omen, what would you name it?
Oh, damn. That's a good one.
Would you have named it The Birthmark?
No.
Would you have named it The Antichrist?
I don't know. I kind of like Mark of the Beast.
Yeah. I like Mark the Beast, which is just some guy in a polo shirt who's like, I'm Mark.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of
Be my guest. Sorry.
I think of the Iron Maiden song.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Yeah. I think I did like some rudimentary mathematics, and I think I've listened to Iron Maiden more than any other band in history. When you take their discography, you take the amount of times I've listened to songs, even according to just Spotify, and the length of their songs. In terms of time, I think I've spent more time.
We definitely got to throw in some sort of Iron Maiden into this.
We'll find a way. I'll watch Flight 666 again. I don't give a fuck. I like 4. I think they're the only band that I still have DVDs for.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think the only band I have a DVD for is the Black Diamond.
That's a good,
which was amazing. Actually, you can see my head in a concert.
Hell yeah!
I'm like, hey, I know that buzzed noodle right there. That's me.
Do you sit there and the little rub and tug like those anime guys looking at the back of your head? Okay.
No.
Elder Misanthropy was, I think, my wake up call, my alarm clock for about 5 years.
It's so fucking good.
That's so shreddy. Good.
Yeah, I think What a Horrible Night for a Curse. Great. It's a great one.
Absolutely. If anybody knows anybody in Black Dahlia Murder, we'd love to have them on the secret tracks.
Yeah, that would be fucking amazing.
Or hidden tracks. Shut the fuck up.
Even the old stuff,
It's my thing. I know what it's called.
Miasmia. All of that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Also, their music videos are dope too. Anyway, we're moving on. Gotta get going. Now, Brian, would you finally like to get into the statistics for this week?
I suppose since I already fucking jumped ahead.
I'm not talking to Brian's mic because I feel frisky. Yeah. Now I'm talking to my own mic. Still frisky.
Oh, damn it. I forgot to do the intro that I was going to do.
Do it.
What's up, party poople?
We rehearsed that before. Brad's like, I love K-Rock, and every time I want to start the show with party people, but it's been done for 30 years, and so I whisper to him, party poople. I'm the
Just
best
like
worst
that.
influence of all time.
Oh, you're great.
What was it last week with Chad? Oh yeah, enjoy killing time till next week. And Chad's like, enjoy killing time till next week. People are like, what's killing time? Is that like an offshoot show that they're doing now?
Just adding more to his workload.
Yeah. He's like, I
All right,
can't
get to it, Chad.
Hey Chad, can you do some kind of fun graphic right here?
for this make-believe show.
Yes,
that
you're going to host. We'll be the guests on your show, Killing Time, till next week. All right, so made on a budget of 2.8 million, yields a return of 60.9 million. Kind of wish it was just 69 million, but I like the
huge
party.
Success.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's like world-changing perspective on film, like thinking about the culture at the time.
Especially, I don't know what it would adjust to, right? I mean, as far as from 1976 making 60 mil, that's pretty damn good.
I'll check the inflation on that. You read the next couple lines on the statistics here. I'll do it.
All right. And so opening weekend was June 25th, which, come on, guys, you really dropped the ball by not releasing it on June 6th. Right, at least having a 6 and a 6. Instead, it's 6/25/76. But yeah,
but they did a pre-release on 6/66.
6/6/76.
Correct.
So which is pretty neat.
So it would be 1,314,090,090.
Really?
No, wait, hold on.
That doesn't make sense. $1 billion. $1 billion.
606.
Do you have one too many zeros?
Do I? I don't know. 76. Maybe
You're
it
like,
was.
They made $609 million. No.
Let's try that again. It's 2018 money. Oh, 131,491,000. What the fuck is happening?
That's fucking
nope,
huge.
Sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. 200 and nope.
Just edit it all out.
2,716,972.25.
2 million.
I don't know. Moving on. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, they would have done really well.
So the only competition I could find for this film was a movie. You probably know it's a Bangladeshi film called Noyon Moni, starring, of course, Farouk and Bobita.
I've seen it a few times. Yeah,
it's in heavy rotation in the Richards household. The runtime, 111 minutes.
It's up there. It's up there. Again, I watched it 2 times within 24 hours, and both times I didn't feel like it ever just like trudged along or it slowed down in pace. I feel like it just kind of went through.
Here's my thoughts on it. Your initial viewing, if you're watching it for sentimentality's sake, you can watch it at normal speed. If you're watching it because you're putting out a podcast and you've seen it 5 fucking times, you could watch it at 1.28 speed. Don't know why I'm getting that specific. I'm not saying I did that, but
now I'm just thinking like, God, why the fuck haven't I been doing that this entire time?
Dude, it saves me over 20 minutes of the film.
Yeah. This is what Brian will be doing from now on. You just got to show me how.
Which helps because then when I'm sitting there taking notes, I'm like, pause, go.
How the fuck do you do it?
It's just the playback. You can use it like YouTube has a playback feature that you can change the speed, VLC player. And here's a great thing. When I'm editing these fucking podcasts, all of us sound like chipmunks because I play this in like 1.5 speed because I'm listening for the defects and I don't want to sit and actually spend real time.
There are no defects.
We are perfect. Just don't ever ask me about the anxiety I have about mistakes I made on episode 4 and 5. Like I still think about those. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
You just like wake up in the middle of the night with a cold sweat.
Oh yeah. Seriously, today I found myself just doing a natural fidget. Like I think I scratched my beard or something. And then beard. I use the term very liberally.
Beard.
So I'm sitting there and then I think about Chad's video editing and I watch. I'm very grateful for the work that he does and I watch the whole thing. I very rarely affect the playback, but sometimes I do, given the fact I've already heard this audio when I spoke it, when I edited the audio, and then again. And I find myself touching my face nonstop. And I'm like, God damn it, Jake, stop. And the craziest thing, I can't hear myself when I'm yelling at my phone while I'm driving in traffic. Weird thing. So,
well,
yeah.
It's the little things that you listen to, especially when you're such a harsh critic of yourself. right? How many times did I tell you within the first 2 or 3 episodes that we did where I'm like, I feel like I've said this at least 30 times during this fucking broadcast.
Oh, right. Definitely. I mean, the ones that we do, we're like, yeah, totally. Blah. I'm like, there's no question we're from fucking California, bud.
And it's one of those things where,
yeah,
that one's a big one.
I do miss that you've gotten better about this or that, because I used to sit there and go, and now I can't anchor it on that. But here's what I thought. Chad, can you do me a favor and look into this while we're recording? Can you go on Amazon and see if you can find me one of those Russian bear fighter costumes where it's like bear armor covered in needles, and I'll put that on my face so I don't touch it and freak people out who are like, this is not sanitary.
You don't think about how many times you touch your face during the day, but it's weird when you see the number, right? And you're like, no, that's not fucking possible.
Yeah, dude. I think that we should have just a little like play mat here of just like finger paints. And so then if I dip my fingers and I'm sitting here, by the end, I really think I'd look like a Jackson Pollock.
There'd be fucking paint everywhere. There would be paint everywhere. My balls just be fucking painted all kinds of colors.
Brian, have you reached the age as well? You're older than me, so I assume that you have, but just want to make sure, where when you sit down in your car for a long haul, you got to put your hand back there and pry them up so that you're not sitting on your own balls.
I think they gain elasticity as you get older.
They gain elasticity? So you're like tight and tucked?
They're stretchy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah. I'm definitely a drooper at this point. It is rough times at the Ridgemont High. The film was directed by Richard Donner, who directed Superman, Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4, 6 episodes of The Twilight Zone, 7 episodes of The Banana Splits Adventure Hour, and 3 episodes of Tales from the Crypt.
And the Goonies.
Oh, who gives a fuck? Monster Squad is better.
What?
Challenge me, bitch.
I would never.
I do not recommend it. I've lost friendships over this feud. So The Omen kind of kicked off this new phase in his career, because after The Omen, he does Superman in 78, then Superman 2 in 80, and then The Goonies. So really, when you think about going from a lot of TV to this, it's pretty rad.
Right.
We move on to David Seltzer. He did the original Omen. He did the 2006 remake. He did Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and My Giant. That's a fun little career.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Kind of all over the spectrum there.
Oh, yeah. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. Why do I like Jerry Goldsmith, Brian?
You like Jerry Goldsmith because he did a lot of fucking Latin singing in the Omen.
Da 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 da. He did Star Trek: The Motion Picture, First Contact.
Oh, he did Total Recall, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
LA Confidential, Congo, Planet of the Apes, Damien, The Omen 2, The Omen 3, Final Conflict.
Wow, this guy's a stud.
Alien, Poltergeist, First Blood, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Legend, Gremlins 1, Gremlins 2.
I like it.
What the fuck is that career?
That's fucking awesome. I mean, did that guy ever stop doing anything, or?
I don't know. He's probably still working now. Or hardly working. Anyway, of his 18 Oscar nominations, The Omen, is the only time he won, which was for Best Original Score.
Yeah, I like it. I really enjoyed the music throughout, so I wholeheartedly agree.
I'm tilting the tablet away from you because we're about to get into Snick Names, which is our late night Saturday Nickelodeon. You got to watch every week.
It's not Dick Names.
Prick Names is what I call it.
Was that Prick Names?
But we have a permanent place setting in the graphics on this show. You'll see Nick Cannon with a pentagram on his head right about here, picking his nose.
There we go.
Our brainchild. Way to go, Chad. So, Snick Names. Gregory Peck, a.k.a. Robert Thorn. What did you have? I already told you mine.
Yeah, I called him Father Grandpa.
I called him Atticus Finch because he famously played Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm okay with it.
No, yours is good. Mine makes too much sense because you can be both a father and a grandpa.
I think you have to be a father to become a grandpa.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not catchy. I just said it because he's old as fuck in this film.
And cantankerous.
Yes.
We move on to Lee Remick as Catherine Horn. Catherine. You want to hear mine? You're gonna love this.
I don't have one for her.
Oh, I do. Do you ever watch the show Dinosaurs from Jim Henson production? Not the mama. Because she's not the mama.
Oh, I like it. That is really good.
Thank you very much.
That is really good. Yeah, I like it. Definitely.
We have-
I mean, the only thing that came to mind was like slow fall.
Yeah.
That dude, where she falls like clearly on a wire.
Yeah. She's like unraveling. Like she's like a yo-yo.
Yeah, it's
Whoa,
like
this
some
sucks.
spider like fucking spun her up in a web, and she's just like
Unraveling.
yeah.
Like her sanity in the film at that point. We move on. I scrolled too far because I'm an idiot.
Ruh-roh.
We have David Warner as Keith Jennings.
Yeah, the guy that's in all the Star Wars stuff.
Santa! Anyway, he was also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
He was in like a million Star Trek things.
Yes. So, Brian, you had said you wanted to call him
Dickhead.
and I wanted to call him Dr. Scientist Man because of Ninja Turtles 2. So we have joined forces, Wonder Twin style, to say
Dr. Dickhead.
Oh, I thought we were gonna do.
Oh fuck.
That's a team
Dr.
venture.
Dickhead.
Dr. Dickhead.
I like it.
We
yeah,
move
I mean,
on.
watch the film and tell me he doesn't have penis-shaped haircut.
Oh, it's perfect.
So
And then the fact that he has like the scarf.
he has
even
like a
further
fun neck
accentuated.
scarf. That is really fun. I mean, they're all neck scarves, I guess. I don't know why I said neck scarf.
I don't know. You could wear a head scarf, maybe. I don't know. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Didn't the mom Carther wear a fun like headscarf when they went to the
with the wedding. She looks like she's wearing a fucking turban, and she's like sim salabim. Is that ethnically insensitive, racially insensitive? If Johnny Quest can do it, I can do it, right?
There you go. Absolutely.
Anyway, Billy Whitehall was Mrs. Baylock. I called her the skinny principal from Matilda. Do you have anything better?
Oh my god, it's totally Skinny Trunchbull.
There we go.
Skinny Trunchbull. I like it.
I could have Googled the name, but I was like, nah, she's
No,
just
dude,
a
I've seen Matilda way too many times. This is definitely Miss Trunchbull.
All right. So she said of the kid who plays Damien that he was, quote, just awful. And in multiple interviews, she has admitted she wanted to strangle him.
Wow.
Yeah, he was apparently the biggest shit.
He was doing his job, right? I mean, he's supposed to be the son of Satan. So if he was like a wonderful child, I mean, it just wouldn't be believable.
It wouldn't. So cool. Moving on to Harvey Spencer Stephens, who played Damien Thorn. Here's some fun stuff. Richard Donner at a certain point became so frustrated with casting that he considered casting a girl instead, which I think would have been a very interesting film. He cast Harvey because they were doing a group session, and he was trying to get the attention of the kids, whatever. There's a scene where Damien ends up fighting his mom in the car as they get to the church.
Right.
So he invites the kid to attack him. First thing he does, kicks him in the balls. And so that's how the kid got the job. But the kid had bright blonde hair. So they had to dye it black for the movie.
Oh, wow.
To make him as evil. So you could imagine in the casting, you just see some little blonde kid and you're like, whatever. Then he kicks you in the dick and you're like,
it's like, what is he supposed to be, Dennis the Menace? Or is he supposed to be fucking Damien?
Or Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes.
There you go. That too.
Who do you think would win in a fight?
Between
Calvin
or Dennis Menace?
Yep.
Calvin.
I think so too. I think he spaceman spiffs that bitch in the face.
Right. Especially, I feel like Hobbs just comes in and just fucking sneak attacks.
Yeah. Did you know that Damien was originally named Domlin? Based after one of Spencer's family friends had a kid named Domlin who was apparently just a big piece of shit. And so as kind of a snub, he was like, fuck your kid. And his wife was like, nah, dog, we shouldn't do that.
I know I'm cherry picking off of another movie, but why not just call him Hornswoggle? Right? Is it Hornswoggle?
From Leprechaun?
Is that what his name was?
Yeah. From the WWE? WW. Well, how does Kurt Angle say it? He always says it weird. Like he said it, and my wife overheard, and she was like, "What?" Yeah, he says WWE, and she's like, "It's W." Like, what the fuck? And I was like, "Dude, he has way serious neurological problems. Like, cut this man a break.
Just let it go.
He is an American hero."
Oh man, woo!
Da, 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 da. So Harvey Spencer, Steven Spencer, whatever. He makes a cameo in the 2006 remake as a journalist. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. That's pretty cool.
He didn't act really after this. He did this movie and he just didn't have a particular penchant for it. So he does some like conventions and stuff here and there.
It always seemed weird for you to say like he didn't enjoy acting that much because I feel like it's so much of like a parent's choice at that age. It's the parents are just like, well, we're not going to do this anymore. It's not like, mommy and daddy, I do not enjoy this anymore, so I'm going to do something else.
I don't know. I feel like if Macaulay Culkin had said no, his parents would be like, we need money. So
That's true.
in an interview I watched with him, he was very proud to proclaim that he is A, not a weirdo, B, not a member of a cult, and C, not very religious.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that came out well-rounded.
So, Jake, I think it's kind of funny, right? We were having dinner beforehand and we were talking about nicknames. And we shouldn't do this before our live show or our recording because, it gives away a little bit of a surprise. But at the same time, it kind of shows how much of a fucked up kind of thought process we have.
We're
and
the
that
same
we
person
share.
sometimes. Yeah.
So,
We're two halves of a whole.
okay,
A butthole.
how about this? On the count of 3, we'll say the nickname for Damien, the son of Satan. 1, 2, 3. Baron Trump. That totally happened.
Yeah. He looks over at me and he's like, I was thinking, Trump's kid would be perfect. And I was like, Baron, you son of a bitch. Like, I have that in my notes. I'm so excited because it's so true. Like, that kid doesn't look enough like him. That kid is adopted. Trump's whatever 3rd or 4th kid had his skull cracked in and he adopted this. And this is the Antichrist. People, you're not prepared for this.
The end is coming.
Yeah. Anyway, Melania best hope she doesn't get pregnant because this kid's gonna push her ass off
the fucking banister.
Yep.
Jesus.
So there are a bunch of other people in this. I don't think we need to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't really any specific. Maybe the father, the one that's given the creepy fucking poem, but nothing really came to mind as far as a nickname for him.
Yeah, there's Patrick Troughton as Father Brennan, and then there's Martin Benson as Father Spiletto.
And then there's that one scene with Baba Dugenheimen.
Carl Bugenhagen, who is Leo McKern. Oh, we have to talk about Holly Palance, obviously the best part of the fucking movie, the nanny.
Oh, okay.
So can we call her Fran Drescher? Oh, Damien.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sweet.
What? Why not? Why not?
So she got the movie role because Jack Palance, her dad, had done a movie called Bronk with Richard Donner, and he was like, "Hey, you should hire her." And he's like, "Fuck, I'll find a spot for her in my movie," and it just so happens to be the best part of the movie.
It's the most memorable. Absolutely.
For sure. So I'll jump into the recapitation so you can jump into this play-by-play.
Yeah, man.
Recapitation. Baby doesn't live. Baby gets adopted. Baby turns out to be Satan's son. The end. Right, that's pretty fair. For those of you who don't remember, I think
you
a lot
do
of
that so well.
I think a lot of people try and overcomplicate it, and
yeah, no, absolutely. It's essentially cut and dry. Yep, that's how it is.
Do you want to use the notes?
Yes, absolutely.
By all means, share and
no,
share.
Actually, I shouldn't because, like I said, I've watched this twice in 24 hours, so I really shouldn't. This is more like a test for me, but it's more or less going to be Jake fact checking and saying, you jumped ahead again. Put it on the fucking counter. Ding.
Ryan's gonna be like, so then it starts off. Robert Thorn's about to stab his kid in the chest with a knife.
I haven't gotten that far, and I haven't gotten that bad. So,
as the balls start to stretch further and further, so too do the gaps and time, and you keep going farther.
I love you so much.
You're my best friend.
All right. So the way this movie starts out shows Robert Thorn in a car late at night. He's heading to the hospital. You hear
actually, sorry to fact check you already. It's 6 a.m. because it's 6.
Fucking horror. It's dark out. It's dark out, right? It's early in the morning. It's still dark.
Which is weird because it takes place, it's in June. June at 6 a.m. is at light pretty much anywhere. Like, think of it. It's not like they're on a different fucking hemisphere.
Are you overthinking a little bit?
A little bit?
Okay.
Pretty sure.
So it's 6 a.m. He's heading to the hospital. You hear
the child is dead.
Yeah, you hear a voice like very subtly in the background saying, the child is dead. You almost, like me, it took the second time around for me to figure out that it's actually the doctor and or father, whoever he's talking to, that's talking to him beforehand, or not beforehand, after the fact of him getting there. And it's kind of just setting the stage for when he's actually in the hospital outside, like I don't know, I guess you'd call it the delivery room.
Yeah, and then he ends up at the Catholic Church, and he's talking to the priest about how his wife wanted a baby. She can't know that it died. You know, she wanted her, and then the priest is like, "Well, hey man, let's adopt."
Yeah,
and he's like, "No, she wanted her own."
He's like, coincidentally, I mean, the same fucking hour. You know, this lady, she totally died. So it's like no surviving family members. You fucking, it's as easy as I hand you this baby, you don't ask questions, and everybody just fucking goes on their way.
Huh?
I think that's how it worked.
No paperwork, just take this baby.
Yeah, it was that easy. Apparently, you know, and they go to him like showing Kathy.
Not the mama.
Not the mama. It shows him deliver the baby to not the mama. And I was asking your wife earlier.
It's hilarious. He delivers. That's a good pun. I didn't. Did you do that on purpose?
No.
Oh shit, that's really good.
That's funny.
She delivers a dead baby or a baby that dies, and he delivers the devil to her. He's like Postmates.
Right. And he totally just hands over the baby like, here's your son. And I was asking your wife at dinner, like, would you know if that actually happened? If somebody pulled the old swapperoo, like, are you gonna be like, nah, doesn't have the same hair? Are you like that close to like realizing that's a different baby, or are you just like so caught up in the moment that you're just like, oh my god, this is a new baby and it's mine?
Yeah, she said that she didn't think she would know, but like maybe in time, because like our baby's mannerism, they don't have character really until a couple months in, and then like that kid does things that are her exactly, that are me exactly. And
right.
I could definitely see how that suspicion grows.
It's not one of those weird mother intuitions where she's like, nope, that's not my baby. It's totally believable.
I'm sure there are people who would say that, but there are also people who say that, like, you know, the ghost of John Wilkes Booth butt fuck their grandma.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anyway, so did you notice that when he here's your boy, not the mama, and hands it over to him, she said, like, she kisses him, but the baby never stops crying through that scene.
I didn't notice that.
I noticed that, and then later on when they're walking by the water, crying, it shows this like recurring theme with them, which I really like. I don't think I noticed it until watching it this time, which funny enough, I was watching it at an advanced speed.
Okay, so it shows them going they're at the house,
Yep.
right? And then that's when he says, oh, you know, pack your bags. And she's like, why? And he's like, we're going to England. Why the fuck would we do that? And he says something, I don't know what he says.
Who has 2 thumbs, a huge cock, and is the ambassador of Great Britain? And she's like, what? And he's like, answer the fucking question. Your Honor, permission to treat this witness as an adverse witness. Permission granted. Not the mama. Who's got the thumbs? Sorry.
No, we're good. So from here, does it go to them at the new house? Am I skipping ahead?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So it shows them going to the new house.
Oh, it's very clearly England, and they do like establishing shots where people are driving on the other side of the road, and you're just like, oh, okay, we're in England now.
Right. And this is where they're rolling up. They're rolling up in the Rolls Royce. Right? The silver fucking Rolls Royce. It's totally OG car.
I honestly didn't even notice what kind of car it was. So
it was pretty cool. Clearly shows that they're like a position of power, right? Like right off the bat.
I'm a vehicular Luddite. I just don't.
Yeah, it is what it is. They get to the house and she's like, well, I already told him I wanted it. Sorry about it. And he's just like, oh, well, aren't you Little Miss Pushy? Right? And you're like, oh, that's the first sign, right? You're kind of douche.
Yeah. Well, he's not like total douche, because he should have been like, look how there's no furniture in here. It's barren. Like, you. But he didn't. So, I mean, it's fair.
I like it.
And not like Baron Trump. I mean, like Barren.
I like it.
But she's not permanently, so it's okay to make that joke.
Yeah, definitely. It shows them checking out the day room, which is bigger than my entire house, probably.
Yeah. I don't have a day room or a night room.
I don't know what exactly a day room is, but apparently it needs more books. And he saw Damien with the nanny, shuts the shutters, and insinuates that they're gonna fucking do it on the floor.
Yeah, he smooches the wife, and then He says that he wants to look up her skirt, and I was like, hello.
Does he say up your skirt? I
He
thought he
does
said,
mention
let's go upstairs.
But then he's talking about going upstairs, hence the looking at the skirt.
Okay.
And then he says that she could be too sexy for the White House.
What a dick.
I almost feel like that's something that Donald Trump would say to Melania, right?
Right.
Hey, lady who used to show her tits in magazines.
It's definitely an offhanded comment, or is it offhanded
Sure.
compliment?
Backhanded
compliment. There we go.
You look like
the
trash.
old fucking backhand. There you go. So then it goes to the scene where they are like a super happy family. They're walking along. They're enjoying the sights. They have a fucking dog on a string.
Yeah,
on
it's
wheels,
a wheelie dog.
right? And it's weird that Damien's not riding it once.
Yeah.
Like, why'd they include that in the scene?
It's a prop. It's just a weird prop. I feel like the prop department was like, that's weird. I'm buying it on a company card.
Agreed. And then they like proceeded to take the fucking carbon copy. They're like, they put it on the card? Okay. Oh, shit.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio takes off his sunglasses and is like, I'm Barry Allen from Catch Me If You Can. And he runs off and people are like, what's that movie? It hasn't come out yet.
So they are fucking totally awful parents at this point. They're like staring at each other's eyes like, oh, I love you so much. We were like fucking sweet co-eds in college. And then they turn around and they're like, Damien!
Which I thought it was a passage of time watching it because it's so like, where's the kid? Like maybe he would be older and like doing something with the dog. Like, oh, like nope. They just fucking forget about their kid. And I was like, maybe mother's intuition isn't your strong suit.
Yeah. Again, it goes to the what the fuck was it? Pet Cemetery. Kind of reminds me of Pet Cemetery, right? We were like, he's fine. It's fucking highway right there. Don't worry about it. What's the worst that could happen? He shows up next to the tree. He's like, I'm over here, bitches. Everything's fine. So
But he got a little mischievous smile, which I liked.
Yeah. He knew what was going on.
Did you notice that when she picks him up, he starts crying?
No, I didn't realize any of that. I think
maybe it's because I'm a dad now. I just realized that might have something to do
that's
with it.
true. That's weird.
I have some weird sense about me where I'm like, this child is distressed. I must start singing now. I must do a silly voice. Or
oh shit! For a second there, I thought you were gonna actually start singing. I was like, "Shot! Someone take a shot!" No, you can't do it now because that's me leading you up to it. It has to be very natural and free flowing.
And it's free flowing. Sorry, Brian.
No, it's all good, man.
And
keep going.
They cut. There's another montage of them having pictures showing their life in England, which is cute. And
I think it's fun because it kind of shows like him growing up a little bit.
Yep.
They like fast forward it a little bit
and different experiences and showing that there are good times so that when the bad times in the movie start, it has consequence.
Agreed.
And then it's the birthday party.
That's right.
Would you want to go through it? But it's a weird birthday party. I will tell you that.
No, it is. It's definitely something where if I saw a little kid have that kind of birthday party, I'm like, who the fuck are their parents? And they're not getting shit for their kid, or I'm not getting shit for their kid because the kid has everything anyways.
Yeah, so much so that the photographer, Dr. Dickhead, says that he is either the heir of the Thorn millions, which is to say Robert Thorn and not the Mama's millions, or Jesus Christ himself to warrant such a party.
Which I think is really good.
Yeah. To say it like so shitty about a little kid, like just doused in envy.
Yeah. The guy's kind of a dick.
Head. Doctor. And so there are a bunch of really cool little props. There's this weird roller coaster that has no straps or supports. And there's pushing a kid in a little wheelie cart around it. Where was that when I was a kid? I'm so jealous.
No shit. I'm like, I want to fucking recreate that, but have it go throughout my entire backyard.
We could do it.
No.
Yes, we can. We could build it. You have pallet wood, you said. We're going to do it.
Okay. Let's do it. Fuck it. Why not?
Structural integrity, schmigtegrity. Maybe we should contact your insurance broker beforehand, though.
OSHA approved. Don't worry about it.
So there's that. There's the merry-go-round and everything.
Right. Then you have like not the mama who gets kind of weirded out because the nanny's like taking pictures with Damien.
Yeah, which is it's at the time as you're watching it, you're like, that's kind of weird.
I'm
then
sorry.
later on,
Not the mama gets freaked out because the nanny is taking pictures with Baron.
Correct. So just to be ultra clear, not the mama's jealous of Fran Drescher, who's with Baron Trump
There we go.
in front
Fuck,
of
I keep
Dr.
saying
Dickhead.
nanny, but it's Franz Drescher. My
Yeah.
bad.
And so then she takes the kid. The nanny looks and sees a Rottweiler just at the kind of the edge of this little forest.
Oh, some fucking sweet ass sound effects.
It's super cool. That weird violin going.
Yeah, I really like it. It adds an extra effect. It's not just some fucking dog staring at the nanny, and you just automatically assume like, okay, well, it's telling her what to do.
You know what you could do? You could take the Bush's baked beans and just put like a voiceover like, "You gotta kill him, buddy. I'll give you the recipe for my secret beans." And she's like, "I've gotta do it."
Oh, that's good. I like it. Yeah. So,
Chad, can you edit that, buddy? Can you put that in where the lady's killing herself for Bush's baked beans?
This is a weekly thing, man. We're just gonna like start throwing different things in for Chad, and he's gonna like send in like these subtle like fucking imagery of like a dick going into my mouth or something.
Look at this can of baked beans that Chad has masterfully put in post. Now the baked beans are up here. Now they're down here.
That's extra homework for you, Chad, as if you don't do enough already.
All right. So then it cuts to the nanny calling, "Damien, I love you."
That was weird. That was really weird.
I love
right?
it. It's so uncomfortable. It's so creepy.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. It makes you feel a little uncomfortable, right? She's like clearly confessing her love for this like child.
Yeah.
And it's fucking sweet. I mean, it's
I think I'd react the same way if I saw Jonathan Lipnicki. It's the only child actor I could think of, and the kid's like 40. What the fuck? My brain doesn't work. So she said,
it's the most memorable part of the movie, in my opinion, other than I'd say head getting chopped off by a fucking plate glass window.
But does the layman know that?
No.
The layman, I think, knows. And also, it's like the beginning of the film.
Right. It's like I think I noted it was at like almost 15 minutes in. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
For a kill of this caliber, this kind of production, this kind of gravity in the film that changes the rest of the movie, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she says famously, "Look at me, Damien. It's all for you." She hangs herself. And she swings back and shatters the glass. I think that makes it really cool too, because it gives it a more
extra
explosive,
yeah, absolutely,
as opposed to like a sound effect.
Yeah, I definitely think that the breaking of the window has a better effect than, again, like you said, that just the subtle neck cracking. I mean, nobody's gonna hear that from that far away. They're just gonna see a girl hanging, which in itself is pretty fucking terrifying. But when you have the hanging coupled with the breaking through the window, the only thing I would tweak with it, but again, it's from like 76, is I would just add more blood, right? Because it's like her body going through like glass.
I don't go that way. I think that she should shit herself. And I think the gift table should be underneath her, because that I think would hit millennials where it hurts, because they're so materialistic that they'd be sitting there and they're like, "Oh, his nanny died. That sucks. I hope she had work comp insurance, whatever." And then she just starts shitting all over his presents, and they're like, "What? There was a PS4 in there.
There was a new iPhone." I don't know. Is that what kids get these days? New iPhones?
Actually, I just read about Apple's revenue sucking shit now. So
that's awesome.
I read it in Forbes because I'm a grown up and I have a mortgage.
Suck it, Apple.
Yeah.
Not an Apple fan. Sorry, guys.
Chad's got a droid. You got a droid. I got a droid.
Yep.
Sup? Want to say shit?
It's the unholy triforce of androids, right?
Not Trinity, Triforce, which sounds so much cooler.
Triforce, absolutely.
Oh, can we talk about? Let's get. I'm gonna pull up Brian. I'm Brian. I'm super hip. When they replace the Holy Trinity, do you remember what they call it?
Fuck. I should know this. I don't.
Can I search my document?
Diabolical fucking Trinity.
No, that's not the part that was. It's what they have. Hold on.
Well, I know what it signifies. I know what the 3 6s stand for.
Yeah, so
they stand for the false prophet, the Antichrist, and Satan.
Yep. There you go.
Right?
They call it the evil Trinity.
Is just the evil Trinity.
That's what they call it in the movie. But I really like.
I like the diabolic Trinity, but that's just because it's like Diablo.
Yeah.
It's like devil.
And you're like, I'm gonna grind out until I get a legendary weapon. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, D3, old school.
So then, oh yeah, I love the fact that there's a clown looking at all this unfurl, just with a very stern face, like this isn't okay.
Well, you showed the clown like covering somebody's face,
Yeah.
right? He's just like, nah, this ain't cool, dog.
Nah.
Yeah.
And so then you see the Rottweiler again and blah blah blah. So it cuts to Damien waving at the dog,
right?
Which I think,
I was gonna say. So it shows. Are we calling him Atticus? Do we go over that?
Finch, yeah.
Okay, so we call him Atticus. So it shows Atticus grabbing Damien and Cuthbert, not the mama. They're all hugging him. He looks over and he sees a dog, right? And then he just like does this creepy little fucking wave, and then the dog books it. He's like, "Oh shit, I gotta go, bitches. You can't be seeing me yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my time."
He says, I got an appointment with some accountant's leg. It's not going to impregnate itself.
Yeah. So from there,
You got Atticus going to his office, and the reporters are like, why'd this broad kill herself?
Oh, that's right. And then
was she on drugs? And he's like,
he brings up, like, is she on drugs? You know, did she have like a suicide note? No, there was no suicide note. And then he runs into the reporter.
And accidentally knocks his camera down.
Knocks his camera, knocks his, was it his lens, his camera, whatever. He says, hey, sorry about it. Hit me with the bill. And that's fine. He's like, don't worry about it. Let's just say you owe me.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought that was weird because what does that mean?
It super reminds me of the episode of The Office where Dwight buys bagels for everyone. And then Andy like one-ups him by buying like Mexican food for lunch. And they keep on doing polite shit to one another. Cause I was just like, what are you going to do?
What's the end game here?
Yeah. Gonna end up in the bathroom stall next to him. He's gonna be tapping his toe and be like, I'm cashing in, Mr. Finch. And he's like, what? Oh, I guess I have to blow you now.
So Atticus is in the office. He's like being attacked by his like fucking stooges, right? They're like, oh, well, you need to go to Saudi Arabia, yada, yada. And he's like, I got to spend time with my family, dude. My fucking kid just saw some lady fucking hang herself. So sorry about it. Then he gets a buzzer from his fucking receptionist.
Well, quick thing. So you know how Miss Baylock just does whatever she wants and gets away with it?
Yeah.
What if Atticus Finch had told the old nanny, Fran Drescher, what if he had been like, hey, you can't have a piñata?
And can we call her Franny? I'm sorry.
Okay, Franny's good.
Okay.
He tells Franny, we can't have a piñata. We're not doing it. And she's like, well, fuck you, Mr. Man. I'll be the piñata. And so that's why she's saying it's all for you. And then she didn't like measure the rope long enough so he can't hit her with a stick. This is my brain.
I like it. It's, I mean, in some interesting fucked up way, I could definitely see it. He hits her with the stick. She fucking explodes and you have guts and candy everywhere.
Smells like guts and candy here.
Yep, definitely. So it goes to
Mama, there surely is a scream. Yeah. So then the priest shows up and he's like, you gotta eat Jesus, you gotta drink his blood,
right.
You gotta take the
sacrament.
sacrament.
So fucking weird. It's an interesting way to start the conversation and not very subtly about like, okay, you need to repent all your sins, you need to accept the blood of Christ and eat his flesh. Have a good day. I'm not crazy.
I love the idea that he'd be like, no, I'm not doing carbs right now. Nope.
Right. I like the fact that the priest was like, or the priest, whatever. He's like, don't worry about it. I locked the door.
Yeah. They're like, you mean this dinky thing? Bam, I'm MP. I kick it down.
Yeah, pretty much. So he's just like, you need to fucking do this. You need to accept Christ in your life every single day.
Which is so weird that he's like, this kind of gets into the impetus of moral action, right? He says that he's doing this, quote, so Christ will forgive me. So if your only motivation for helping these people is your own redemption, are you truly doing anything good?
Yeah, it doesn't technically redeem you.
So I think that's why he gets shafted later on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, he's an apostle of Satan. So no matter what he does, it's not going to be like he's forgiven, right? Because he had the fucking jumping ahead like fucking usual. He has the birthmark.
The
father has the birthmark on his inner thigh.
Yeah, I remember that from the autopsy.
They say the 666 signifies the apostles of Satan.
I thought that it was that he had been acted upon by, but I think that you're right. That sounds.
I think
better.
he's almost like he's trying to repent for what he's done.
Yeah,
like he set all of this in.
Well, because he said, "I saw its mother."
Right.
Yeah.
So he was part of the whole like jackal getting impregnated and this or that.
At least that's an episode of Black Mirror, right, where the guy's fucking the jackal.
Right. At least that's what's inferred. So I feel like it's like him just being like, fuck, I kind of screwed up by setting this all up in motion. I kind of don't want to go to hell. So maybe I can fix this.
He's like, hell nah. Hell nah. Sorry. Then as he's being taken out, he says like, he says his mother was a jack, and then they take him away. And as he's leaving, the photography guy's like, hey, Padre, how about I get another fucking picture? Takes another picture, which is great because it's setting those breadcrumbs so later on when you have the scene,
it makes sense.
So good.
It totally makes sense.
That's probably the most clever part of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
So that actually goes to this exactly. So it cuts straight to the scene where he's developing the film in his dark room, and my whole life is a dark room. He's God damn it, Jake. He's developing the film. He sees this blemish pointing at the priest's neck. It's this line, and he sees it over and over. But at this point, he has multiple pictures of the priest. So it's not just that he's like, oh, I'm crazy. It's not like...
Yeah, maybe it's just this one bad photo I took. It's multiple photos with the same line going through the exact same spot on his body.
Yeah, different lighting conditions.
There's not kind of like a weird coincidence.
Yep.
So...
then it cuts to Miss Baylock arriving.
Okay. That's right. So yeah.
Trunchel.
Right. So they have, it's funny because they have like multiple maids that are never fucking introduced at all. It's just like inferred that you're like, oh, okay, these people have fucking like a maid for everything. So one,
and then when they disappear later, it's supposed to be like a plot device. And you're like, right. I didn't know them to begin with. So,
so one maid comes up and she introduces the other maid who is Skinny Trunchbull. Right. And, she's very insistent on meeting Damien. Nobody knows where the fuck she came from. They're like, oh, I thought you hired her. And he's like, no, I didn't hire this bitch. So apparently she came, or she claimed
from,
she
quote, the agency.
Right? And I thought that was really good, right? Because it makes it
sounds like a team of hitmen.
To me, it makes it seem like it's like government/agency, which is always like evil in movies, right?
Lizard
it's like
people.
The evil government. Lizard people. Agreed. So they kind of freak out. They say, hey, who sent you? And she's like, the agency sent me. Don't worry. Here's my references. They're like, oh, everything's okay. And she's like, well, I'll just be over here with your son by myself with the door shut.
Yeah. In front of fire.
Always. Did you notice every single time that Damien is in his room, Baron Trump is in his room, the fireplace is going.
Yeah.
He needs to be closer to home.
That's awesome. Creature comforts. Have no fear, little one. I am here to protect thee. When you hear some lady in the fucking 70s saying thee, you're like, I don't buy it. You're fucked up.
Yeah.
You're not at a red fair. You don't have the right to say thee.
Agreed.
Do you think, not trying to be perverse, that she would have like a good set with like the corset from the Ren Fair? I don't think so. I think this lady's
dude. I mean,
rail thin and evil.
She's Skinny Trunchbull for a reason. Yeah. She's
the devil.
She's not Curvy Trunchbull.
Yeah. So. I like those curvy devil ladies that guy Coop draws. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, it's some artist, and there's always like titties everywhere, and they're devil ladies. Yeah, I used to see them all the time, like on stickers and stuff in the 90s.
I mean, I'm not complaining about fucking curvy devil titty ladies.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's what we should call our fans now instead of Mutant Goons from Beyond.
I'm not sure how well they would take that.
Well, how about the Mutant Goons from Beyond are people who identify with the male gender, and curvy devil titty ladies are the ones. Sorry.
Hey, we'll take a poll.
And so, yeah, when she says, have no fear, little one, I am here to protect thee. Funny enough, strange coincidence, that's how I wake up my daughter and put her to bed every night.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's always a fire in her room, too.
And it makes sense. I mean, she's got the fiery red hair. Yep, definitely.
Oh, dude. I was watching this movie and I was like, I know what to look out for. I got you. So then the next scene is not the mama wearing a blue turban, and she's like, we're going to church. And Miss Baylock's like, nah.
Is that so? That's before the zoo.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The zoo is actually the next scene after.
Okay.
That.
So yeah. So she's wearing a weird blue fucking getup. It seems strange. Like, Atticus Finch definitely is dressed for a wedding
with a top
I'm
hat.
not exactly sure what she's dressed for. It's strange.
A seance.
Yeah, something. She
Maybe
definitely needs
is-
a fucking crystal ball in front of her.
It's the fucking wedding from Beetlejuice.
Oh, that is really good.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
I'm just gonna make references to other shit. Sorry.
Yeah, why not?
Is that humorous? Not really. Just
Kinda,
to derive
dude,
stuff.
That totally reminded me of one of the things that happened to fucking not the mama. The doctor says she broke her humerus.
Humorous.
And I'm like, she's not funny anymore. I don't get it. So she's like, okay, well, Damien's coming to the wedding. I don't know why the fuck you're telling me he's not. So he's coming. And she's like, well, I hate to be,
Pass.
overstepping my boundaries, but I don't feel like a 5-year-old has any knowledge of what goes on at an
Episcopal wedding.
Episcopalian wedding.
Which, Chad, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Episcopal is where you pee on a fish who is your friend, right? Episca.
I was gonna say he was going to a pescatarian wedding, which is like where they eat fish.
So good.
I don't know. So they end up going to the wedding. They're on their way to the church, and I really like it where they keep on showing. They flash between showing Damien's face. They show the picture of the church and the cross and everything, and it clearly shows him being in discomfort the closer they get to the church.
And as he's feeling uncomfortable, she notices that he's trembling. But it's interesting too because he is at first wearing his dad's top hat. He's being very funny, and then as soon as it happens, it's a great character shift.
Right.
And
agreed. Absolutely.
As they get there, Atticus gets out of the car, and kid's like, "First rule of Fight Club, bitch!" Ba, 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 ba. And she's like, "Damien!" And he's like, "Not the mama. Not the mama said knock you out." They get in the car, they drive off, and what I love is the fucking guy who's sitting there watching this all happen. He just is looking at them like, "What?"
Right. Yeah.
And all the other people are as well, but the usher specifically, the look on his face is like, "How uncouth to allow this gentleman to do this."
So then they go to her in her room. She's brushing her hair in front of the mirror, and she keeps on saying, "Oh, it's nothing. He just bruised my face a few times." Yeah. I feel like she's probably gotten used to saying that a few times. Like, "No, it's nothing. I fell against the doorknob." Yeah.
Well, and then so Atticus starts to get suspicious, and he's like, "Well, we should take him to a doctor." She's like, "He's not sick." He's like, "But he's never been sick a day in his life."
That's funny because I don't recall him ever being sick. No measles, no mumps, all of these things that are pretty much eliminated nowadays.
She's like, "Vaccines, bitch."
So, yeah. No. Then
imagine she's an anti-vaxxer and she's like, "No, it's because these crystals I put on his bed."
Then Jenny McCarthy pops out of a fucking closet. And
actually. Sorry, I remember when you were just the tit lady from my childhood who I used to look at.
Yeah, agreed.
Now she knows more than doctors. So then the mom completely excuses, or not the mom, completely excuses, and she's like, "He just had a bad moment, like a fright."
Right, and then I want to say that she makes a comment saying something along the lines of, "What's the best way to get rid of a day like this? Is just go to bed." She's like, kind of insinuates like,
"Take me to Bone Zone.
Let's go to Bone Zone. Let's fucking do it, Raw Dog." I just stole
Raw Dog. I think I might need to draw a little character for the Raw Dog.
I always just imagine it's like you remember the god awful like Wiener Schnitzel commercials of like the like dancing fucking hot dog?
Oh, okay. I always think of dick butt when I say it, but with like a dog's face.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what dick butt is?
No.
Chad, do you know what dick butt is? What the fuck?
No, it's fine.
No. It's a cartoon, but not like a pervy cartoon for those guys who masturbate at their own cartoons.
If I Google dick butt, it's not going to be a cartoon. I promise you that.
You've definitely seen it.
Okay. I've totally seen that.
Yeah. There's one of my favorite images on the internet of all time is Batman. and he's like crying as he's reading a note, and the note somebody photoshopped that it's dick butt instead of a note.
Nice. It totally reminds me kind of remember in Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Did you ever watch that?
Oh, religiously.
Fucking Banana Dog.
Yes. I love that show, man.
Where Carl gets raped by the banana dog. He's like, what are you talking about, Carl? It's just a dog. He's like, I can't wait for you to get home, Carl.
That show is pretty horrific in a lot of ways. I feel like we could do the episode with Danzig. And
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The blood and everything. Let's stay on target. We got another 20 minutes of this show to get through. Atticus goes to check on Damien. He hears a dog growl. Baylock's like, what's up, dog? It's just the master of the house. And they say they found the dog outside. Funny enough, the dog was plotting to kill Fran Drescher. No big deal. Damien loves him. And she says that, the dog will be useful when when he's gone out of town for a while. And he's like, well, I want you to call YMCA. RSPCA. A Native American guy walks in, a construction worker walks in.
It's one of the fucking things.
And the dog just hypnotizes each one of them. They're suddenly like, heterosexual. I am heterosexual. I need to get an accounting job.
So, yeah. So
then we're at the zoo. Specifically, the Windsor Safari Park, for those of you keeping track.
So the first thing you see is, he goes up to the giraffe, right? And the giraffe's like, fuck that shit, I'm out, right?
Well, it's like all of the giraffes. At first, it's the one who looks upset, and they're like, deuces.
Nah, I'm out. Then they go to the
they cut back to the dad leaving the house, and as he's driving out of the gate, he sees the priest.
Yeah. Right.
Then it goes
back, and it shows them, and as the announcer playfully says, the baboons.
Baboons.
I don't know why I found it fun when he said that. Baboons. So he's like, everybody keep your fucking windows up because baboons bite.
Yeah. As a kid, I thought that baboons and mandrills were the same thing, but they're not.
Yeah. I just kept on looking at their big bulbous butts that are red.
Just like the curvaceous devil women or whatever we call it.
Wow. I like it. Full circle.
So for this reaction, you know how they got the baboons to attack the car?
They're baboons.
They put a baboon baby in the car.
Oh, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah. And so they were freaking out, and apparently the baboon started pissing all over the car and everything.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a parent and somebody stole my baby and was like, we got your baby, I might
just walks over and pisses on the van.
Defecate and piss all over their shit too.
Follow that car. It's the one with the green turd on it. And the cop's like, why is it green? He's like, I had a green smoothie and a wheatgrass shot for
It's
lunch.
called a green machine. Thank you very much.
So, yeah, they're afraid, blah, blah, blah.
They speed off, dude. I thought they were going to hit a baboon. The way they were driving away is very reckless. Yeah. FYI.
Very. I completely agree. And as a vegan, I was like, you better not hit that fucking baboon.
I was looking at the end of the fucking credits, like no baboon was hurt in the making of this film.
But all the giraffes died. So then they're having pillow talk between Not the Mama and Atticus Finch. And she says that she's had fear for years and she's afraid to admit what they are, but she wants to see a psychiatrist.
I think it's funny how she's trying to downplay it. And he's like, oh, no, maybe you should. Yeah. He's like, nah, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. And she kind of playfully says like, well, if I tell you, I feel like you're gonna admit me.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, I'm already planning on it.
Yeah.
And so then they cut to a rugby game, and the photographer's there. And the priest confronts him yet again and sets a meeting, saying, "She'll die unless you come."
That's a good way to start a fucking meeting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, your wife's gonna die unless you show up to a meeting," I'm gonna go, well, I gotta clear my schedule, guys, because I'm going to this fucking meeting.
What time is it?
You're like,
am I gonna have time to pick up lunch first? Is the meeting gonna be catered?
I mean, is Harvey Birdman on at that time?
Are you gonna have Quiznos at the meeting? I only go to meetings where there's Quiznos.
Yeah. So I think he ends up losing the bet.
Yep.
He ends up losing a bet.
But he's clapping because he doesn't know what the fuck rugby is. He's like, yay. And then he loses.
He's like, what was that? $2? The guy's like, 3, bitch. I just fucking wrecked you. And he's like, oh, okay, sure. Sounds good.
Like the guy completely admits that he's
He's like,
changing the bed.
inflation.
Yeah. And so the priest takes another picture of the Padre, and then again he develops the film and sees the blemish.
No, Dickhead takes another picture of the Padre. You
Yeah.
said the priest takes another picture of the Padre, which means he's taking a selfie.
So totally fine. Who says he didn't, Brian?
Sorry, I mean,
He's
clarifying.
sitting there and he's like pulling his cassock around.
I don't even know what the fuck cassock is, but it sounds good.
I don't know if that's the right usage. I'm realizing that Cossack is a dance, but I think cassock is a part of priest clothes. Keep going.
Yeah, okay. It goes to basically him. No, it doesn't go to him having the meeting right away. Where does it go from there?
I was way off.
What was it called?
I've just seen a bunch of Russian people. What do you call priest clothes? Priest clothes called what? The notes were right there. Rugby game. So
there we go.
At the park.
Yeah. Well, it shows Dickhead, Dr. Dickhead, going back to develop the film, right? And he gets even more photo evidence of the priest and the spike going through his shoulder.
Cassock. I am so smart. Cassock.
Nobody doubts you.
I'm done. I can autopilot the rest of this episode, Brian. Go for it.
There we go.
Get it, girl.
So it reaffirms his thought that there's something more than just me having a fucked up camera. It goes to the meeting at the park, right? Where you have sorry.
He meets the priest on the bench.
You have him meeting the priest at the bench, and the first thing the fucking priest says is he goes through this crazy poem about basically man turning against man, fighting each other, the rise of the Roman Empire, something like that. He rises from the sea, and there's not going to be any more humans alive.
Mary had a little Satan.
Yeah. Essentially. And then he says, your wife's pregnant, right? That's like the...
And he says he can't keep it because that kid's going to kill her for it.
Right. He's going to kill the baby. He's going to kill the wife. And then he's going to kill you.
Yeah. And there were actually statistics that showed that sales of the Bible went up after this movie because people wanted to read the book of Revelations. This whole poem is fake. So it was created by the screenwriter.
It's very clever. It's very clever.
I enjoy it. But then he tells him that if you want to kill the kid, you're going to have to go to Megiddo in the old city of Jezreel and find an old man named Bugenhagen.
Derives from Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That is correct.
And then he's supposed to meet Baba Dugan. Babadook?
Bugenhagen.
Baba Dugenhagen.
Baba Yaga.
Yes! I like it.
That's the movie I want to see is John Wick making sure that Damien doesn't die because he's like being altruistic, and then he realizes that he has helped the devil's son live, and then he has to turn and kill the devil's son.
I don't know where you're going with that, but
that's
okay.
the movie.
Yeah.
It's that John Wick becomes the kid's bodyguard, but then he realizes that he's the Antichrist, and then he has to kill the kid, and it's like this action adventure.
And then like the dog's like trying to attack fucking Wick, and he's like, I can't kill the dog. I love dogs.
Right? That's great. That's a moral dilemma that we have not seen in the John Wick franchise.
Okay, I can see where we're going with that.
When the Atticus Finch is like, I never want to see you again, and the priest is like, I'll see you in hell. When a priest is saying he's going to see you in hell, the situation is bad.
Yeah, it's definitely 10 being best, you're at like a 2 maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So suddenly the winds pick up and it gets a little crazy at the park. And by a little crazy, I mean, whoa, crazy. And he tries to go in and get to the church. He keeps looking to try and enter the church to save himself. He gets to the gates.
Oh, trust me. Locked. If I felt like my life was in danger, I'd be fucking barreling through a door. I wouldn't just be shaking it. Let me just shake it a little bit. Oh, it's locked. I guess I'm done. Let me check something else. Nah, fuck that.
Well, I love that he gets to the gates. The gates are locked. Climbs over the gates, and then the gates get struck by lightning and the gates open. It was kind of like a power play from Satan being like, you couldn't even fight the gates. I'm going to kill you. Then he goes to one set of doors that are locked on the church, goes to another, and then a flagpole or a lightning rod gets struck, falls through, spears the guy. And I love this effect because he's propped up.
Yeah, I think that's really cool how they have him propped up like that. I only wish that it was more of a... I don't know. Like maybe they can show it go actually through like a body of some sort instead of like it literally looked like it just like went behind him.
Kind of, yeah.
I get it. It's 76 and they're running with what they got. So I definitely like how he ended up being kind of just like nailed to the ground.
Yeah.
With it.
I would love some Japanese style like geyser of blood shooting out.
Yeah, something. But again, that's me being like
Wednesday and Pugsley Adams from Adam's Family. That kind of blood.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That'd be sick.
That'd be cool. So he's fucking done. He's a shish kebab.
And then it cuts to Damien, who is playing billiards by himself incorrectly.
Yeah, and he's like pew 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 pew.
And I wrote it down. Pia, pia. And to me, it's not annoying because I grew up watching Power Rangers, and I'm like, oh, it just means that Tommy's fighting Goldar.
He's just doing some fucking kicks right now.
Yeah.
So you have not the mama fucking clearly like not having it,
nope.
right? And she is very irritable, and Atticus Fitch is like, oh well, I don't
he's
think
just a boy.
He's like, I don't feel like he's being annoying at all. And she's like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, I'm a fucking idiot, so maybe I should just not say anything at all.
Yeah. And then she says that she doesn't know what's the matter with her, and she thinks that it's what the doctor is gonna blah blah blah, doesn't want any more children. And he's like, okay, that's fine. He says, so she's like, so you'll let me get an abortion? Or she says, you'll agree to an abortion. And that's how he finds out she's pregnant, because she just found out that morning. And you can see the look on his face like,
oh shit.
What a happy coincidence. And then he gets a call about the paper and reads about the picture of the priest.
Yeah,
and
so who's on the other line?
Who knows?
That was weird.
I thought for sure it was supposed to be the photographer. But
that's what I thought it would be. It would be the photographer, but they don't even like reference anything of the sort. So
and then
who knows?
It's Atticus having the meeting with her psychiatrist. He finds out that she thinks that the son is evil, that he said it's very weird because he talks about how it was foretold her pregnancy would be terminated.
Right. Which I feel like this whole scene is a little weird, right? Because first of all, she's not there.
Yeah.
Right. Which obviously is like I don't know what the fuck it's called. Doctor patient privilege something or another. So it's like, yeah, let's clearly talk about your wife who's having some kind of mental stability issues. And I'm going to gauge your opinion on the thought, or on the fact.
So Atticus clearly gets uncomfortable and he starts booking it home, and he's driving really recklessly. And then as this is happening, Damien's on his tricycle riding in circles in his room, and Miss Baylock is just sitting there watching, or Trunchbolt or whatever.
You can tell that she's like waiting for him to like prime up for something. Yeah. Right.
It's rising. The whole situation, the tension, the speed, the intense focus of the camera angle as things are whizzing by, which are really still going at the same speed. It just looks faster because the frame is smaller.
She's essentially like the fucking the light Christmas tree thing at the drag races, right? Where it's like green, or it's like red, green.
Yep, exactly.
And she opens the door and he just fucking speeds off, like wheels like burning and shit.
So the mom is trying to fix a hanging planter, and she moves a fish bowl. Damien ends up on his tricycle flying by, hits it, she falls off. Brian, what kind of fish are in the bowl?
Goldfish.
No, they're not.
What?
They are sardines that are painted gold, orange, because they did not actually want to kill fish. If you look, they are so clearly sardines, which I thought they were goldfish too because of the color. And I read that trivia.
You asked me not to make me look bad.
Sorry,
fucking asshole.
I was in.
No, it's cool because I've totally called you out on a few things a couple episodes ago, and you just, I felt like a complete dick beforehand or after the fact.
I'm not even until I'm ahead.
So I guess I'm fucking moron. It's sardines.
I had no idea. I just less than 24 hours ago I was in your position, so don't feel bad, little buck.
Once upon a time.
How naive I once was. That's the folly of youth.
Right. So it shows her, and it's funny. You see her clearly clutching for her life, and Damien does nothing. Yeah. Right?
Oh, yeah, because she's holding on the banister, and she's like, Damien, and he's like,
right.
Sorry.
And Baron's like, you didn't give me a good enough allowance, bitch. Yeah.
Like, we play for keeps here on Trump Towers, bitch. And she falls one story.
And she unravels like from a fucking like from a yo-yo. Yeah. And she slow-mo falls face first onto the ground. I think it's really cool how they show like the blood from her mouth.
Oh yeah,
Right. That
the
was kind of
dribble.
neat.
It also comes back later in the ambulance.
It does.
So she's in intensive care. She has a concussion.
She's
a broken
got her
humerus.
fucking arm like hanging up in the air.
She has internal bleeding, and
That's when the doctor says she has internal bleeding, and fucking Atticus is like, she's pregnant.
And the doctor's
And
like,
he's
fun
like,
fact, nope.
He's like, nope. And then he actually like he re-asks it again, or he's like, so she's not pregnant? And it's like, yeah, usually when somebody says no, like that's it. Like, no, there's no like gray area. Like, no, she's not pregnant. So
she says to him, Robert, don't let him kill me. And then we cut to Atticus being home, and he's going to go to Damien's room, but the goddamn dog is there, and he's about to throw down. And then the phone rings, and he's like, all right. And it's Dr. Dickhead, who says that he wants to have a meeting at his flat. Maybe they'll have a fag together. That's what they call cigarettes. So it's just sounded like a pickup line.
I thought it was like a bundle of sticks.
It could be as well.
Huh.
Maybe they light the cigarettes, the fags, with a bundle of sticks on fire, a flame. So they have the meeting. He shows the picture of the nanny and shows that there is some kind of blemish leading down to her, which,
I wish it was a little more
overt.
Yeah.
They didn't have Photoshop at the time. So I think this is a pretty fair job.
Yeah, maybe Chad can show like a photo of her hanging, and then or not hanging, just a photo of her like by herself, and then like superimpose like a noose around her neck, and then like shit coming out of like the bottom of her.
Onto presents. Anyway, so the journalist divulges all this information about the priest. He'd been riddled with cancer. He knew he was going to die. The fact he hadn't died was crazy. Brian's correct.
Did you happen to notice how many crosses he had on his door?
47.
Why?
There's a number.
I don't know. I was actually really curious on that.
Yeah,
I feel like that has to do maybe something with like a holy number, maybe.
I don't know. But what was interesting is they both suspected that the 666 that Brian mentioned that he has on his inner thigh was a concentration camp tattoo, and then it wasn't. It was a birthmark. And what's very crazy about that is, like, I'm not trying to be sarcastic here. I've never heard of a Jew having a concentration mark tattoo in their inner thigh. And so that I took that to be the bargaining that people go through, where it's like, I'm clearly confronted with something supernatural. I'm just going to try and explain it away. I can't explain it away.
Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So all over his room are pages of the Bible. Super cool effect. Really liked it.
Right.
Picks up the diary. It's all about Atticus's routine, the meeting at the thing. He pulls out a clipping from Astrologer's Monthly that shows that there was a star like the Star of Bethlehem from 2,000 years ago, but it was on the other side of the planet 5 years ago. He finds the birth announcement from a Roman newspaper. Atticus then admits that his son is dead. Quote, I don't know whose son I'm raising. The photographer wants to help. Why? Yo, dog.
He's like, nah, I'm going to do this on my own. Right. And he's like, well, I mean, technically I'm in this too. And
shows him a picture.
Shows him the picture. He says, I was photographing the crime scene, and I happened to notice that in the mirror that I took a photo of, it showed a like cut going through his, I guess you call it
his neckerchief.
His neckerchief.
Cuts back to the mom in the hospital. She's afraid, but still asks about Damien's well-being, which I thought was cute. Then it cuts back to home. She's calling out for Mrs. Horton, or he is.
And, he is.
Yeah. Then you find out Miss Horton is gone, but this is what we were talking about earlier. I don't know who the fuck Miss Horton is.
Yeah,
the fact that she's gone, I don't care.
I don't know. And he's like, oh, Horton? What about Mr. Horton? And she's like, oh, they're all fucking gone. It's just me, but don't worry about it. I got it taken care of, boss.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm going to look into this, but then he never looks into it.
No, he never looks into it. Yeah. So
he confronts her about the dog, and she says, oh, well, they came and took him this morning.
YMCA
he's like,
took him.
And he's like, all right, I guess the village people took him. I'm gone. He goes to Rome. He's arguing with the cab driver. They go to the place. It's supposed to be the church where the kid was taken.
Oh, dude.
It's burned down.
How cool is that elevator? What the fuck?
Terrifying,
dude,
right?
How does that work?
So for those of you who don't know what Brian's talking about, there's an elevator that doesn't have any doors. It's perpetually moving, kind of like an escalator that this nun gets in.
How does that work?
They have them in Europe all over the place, apparently.
It has to be in a circle, right?
Well, yeah, the roof of one is the floor of another.
Right. So I'm saying, so it doesn't just go up and just like fucking go up into infinity.
Yeah.
How does it work?
So that's what I'm saying. The roof, like,
Okay, so one's a roof and one's a floor.
So
So,
as
then
it
does it
turns
go?
over,
Is it like a is it like is it called a carousel? No, not carousel, but a Ferris wheel.
I mean, I guess
So is it like this? Is it rotating?
because you have to get off at the top. When it changes over to the top being the bottom, it's already going down the other side for the descending.
That's a fucking mind fuck right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's dangerous as shit. I feel like I would lose a limb
Super
going
rad.
on there.
So they find out there's no records of the adoption.
Apparently
or
everything got, went up in flames.
Burned alive. So
That's
then
it.
he's like, "Did you meet a priest with piercing eyes?" Leads me to believe Gregory Peck might have tasted his pee-pee. They find out they sent them to a monastery. Get thee to a nunnery. So they go. There's a scene about them decoding the poem, which I found really annoying and unnecessary because like, we've already talked about the raging tides being politics because it's always shut the fuck up.
They find the priest, right? And it's funny because Dr. Dickhead is like, that's got to be him, right? Because it's the only one that has a fucking like milky white fucking right eyeball.
He looks like Admiral Pike from Star Trek. It depends if you want to call it the Manette. Whatever. We'll move on.
So
anyway.
they end up trying to interview the priest. He
says that he's doing a penance for abandoning Christ, and he's like, how did he communicate if he can't talk? So he uses his left hand and he draws, and so he drew a 666 and a stick figure with a hood to show that he was in bed with the devil, the Trinity. He asks about the mother, and he writes Servet, which is a cemetery 40 kilometers north of Rome.
It's like nothing but ruins, right? Yeah. So he says, okay, well, how fucking far is that? They find out it's pretty close from here. Yeah. So they end up, going there.
So they go, blaze through this scene. We're kind of going over a little bit what we generally do. They find the grave of Maria Sciana and Bambino Sciana, which is the baby. Sciana, what does it mean? It means leather bag or bottle.
What?
In Arabic. That's the only thing I could find online. So I guess it was just a word that sounds good.
Interesting.
They look in the body. They find
a jackal.
A jackal for the mom.
It's a jackal.
And then the baby, which they conclude is Atticus Finch's kid, has its head crushed. So it shows that he didn't die of natural causes.
It's a pretty brutal scene.
That the Satanists killed him to make sure that Damien was with him because of his power, influence, and finance. So then there's the dogs.
Then you have the dogs show up. And
blah,
it
blah.
seems like they almost superimpose one dog like multiple times. It's like the same exact dog. So they're all attacking the fucking Atticus and Dr. Dickhead. They barely make it out alive. Atticus cuts his arm pretty badly going over the gate.
Yep.
He gets pulled away at the nick of time, and they book it back to the hotel.
At the hotel, he calls the wife, not the mama, and says, "Hey, lady, get ready. We're getting you out of there.
You need to get the fuck out." And she's like, "Well, I can't really move." He's like, "Get the fuck out now." And she's like, "Oh, well, I guess I don't really have a say in the matter."
So while she's trying to get undressed and she is like midway through getting this lacy shawl off, Balok's there, pushes her out a window.
Dude, Skinny Trunchbull, dude, she fucking pushed the shit out of her. And all of a sudden you just hear a scream, window break, scream, fucking clearly a dummy falling head first. Right. And it's fun. I like it when dummies are used in these kind of effects, right? Because it's better than like using a CGI.
Silly, yeah.
Right. Because you actually see the physics of like a weighted body fall.
It reminds me of Bam Bam Bigelow being slammed through the roof of an ambulance. WCW, I think, was it Mike Awesome who did it?
Nice. I like it. I mean, she totally would have been a lot more like fucking unrecognizable than what happened to her in the ambulance. Yeah. So, I mean, she looks beautiful as she cocks her head back and there's a little dribble of blood that comes out. She literally fell like fucking like 30 stories to it, fall through an ambulance, and she still had like her nice hair and makeup. So,
Mike Awesome, I am so good. I know my WCW.
You are on a roll.
You're the WWF guy. I'm the WCW guy. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. There's all this stuff of like logistics.
Atticus is at his hotel. He gets a phone call from Tom, whoever the fuck Tom is. Apparently, it's his like fucking aide. He says, "Tom," and I made note of this. He goes, "Tom, Kathy, Tom." In that order. Yep. And then you're like, oh, okay, I guess there was some kind of conversation going on there.
He hangs up and says, "Kathy is dead. I want Damien to die too."
Yeah.
So they go to Megiddo and meet Bugenhagen. and he tells them how to kill him with a special knife. And then it cuts to him with a knife on his lap, wrapped in some fabric that he totally smuggled through TSA.
On an airplane.
Yeah.
Right? Well,
TSA sitting there.
We fucking skipped the head.
I know. This is unimportant stuff.
No. The guy getting his dickhead.
That's
fucking head gone.
That's the next part. Okay.
No, that's beforehand.
Okay.
You're pulling a Brian.
Okay.
We're jumping ahead.
Trying to rush.
I know. I'm sorry.
Because I don't want to miss the rating like we did last week.
Okay. So really quickly, they're arguing back and forth. He finds out that he needs to stab Damien.
And he throws the knife.
He's like, fuck that. I'm not gonna kill kids. So he takes the knives and he fucking throws them, the daggers. Dr. Dickhead's like, well, you know what? I'm still in this, so I'll fucking kill him myself. He goes to pick them up. The guy leaves out of his truck to go fucking have a beer somewhere. His parking brake flips off. The truck or van carrying plate glass windows rolls backwards as Dr. Dickhead is going to pick up the daggers. It hits a rock or something. Fucking window slides out, and you clearly see like a beach ball of some sort fucking fly and roll up in the air. It's not his head. It doesn't look anything like his head.
It actually isn't bad. Apparently, when he got divorced from his wife, she got the head in the divorce. He's made that joke multiple times, and it seems there's some weight to it.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's
so
cool.
There's actually, I had read an article about the physics of the head flipping. Apparently, there's a coincidence. It was just supposed to get cut off, but the fact of how it flipped ends up being.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So he like everybody screams. Fucking Atticus is like, oh my God, it's fucking crazy. He picks up the daggers, and then it shows him smuggling the daggers onto a plane because clearly he's a fucking ambassador of the UK. So he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Did he keister it?
He might have.
A prison pocket? I'm taking Brian's terminology now. It's mine. This is my house.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he gets home.
He gets home. He finds out from Baba Duganhagen that he needs to, if he can't find the 666 on the body, he can check underneath the hair. So he cuts the hair. So he goes to Damien's room. He starts snipping at the hair.
This is after he's locked the dog downstairs.
I did it.
Well, no, it's not bad. It's just so that people know, because if they're like, why would
so
the
he
dog
gets
kill him?
there and he feels like, okay, the dog's gonna attack me. So he lures the dog down and down some stairs that I didn't see before, but apparently he has some fucking Addams Family like fucking staircase, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was in Addams Family, right?
Sure.
Never mind. Anyways,
well, there's a staircase in the Addams Family. There's a staircase in the Munsters, so it's either which way.
It might have been Munsters. Fuck. Oh well. Edit it out, Chad. Edit it out. So it goes to him being up at that Damien's room. He cuts the hair. It clearly looks like it's a fucking doll's head, because you're not cutting some kid's hair, some poor little 5-year-old kid's hair. You see the 666. He's freaking out, right?
He has the teary eyes, and then suddenly
and all of a sudden, fucking Skinny Trunchbull's just like, not today, bitch.
She's wearing a bright blue outfit, which is like, you're a harbinger of the devil. Wear black. Be respectable.
It was a little weird. It almost seemed like she's like, you know what? I'm on my time off.
Yeah. You're cutting into my R&R.
So she comes flying at him. She jumps on his back. I feel like she's doing a rear naked choke.
Yeah. Trying to, at least.
She's trying to bite him. They wrestle back and forth. He fucking flings her off, kicks her into the side of a bookshelf. And then he picks up Damien and it was like, yeah, all right, well, we need to fucking do this. So he's going downstairs.
Has to be on hallowed grounds. We have to take him to a church.
Right. So So he's going downstairs. In the meantime, Damien Baron von Trump grabs hold of a light fixture. They end up fucking breaking that. They roll down the stairs. I'm assuming Baron is fucking knocked out from rolling down the stairs. Atticus picks him up and they're in the kitchen. All of a sudden, fucking Skinny Trunchbull isn't done, right?
She's just like
comes flying at him.
She pulls the Captain America. She's like, I can do this all day.
Yeah, no shit, man. She has she has scissors and something else. It's like an ice pick or something. She's coming in fucking dual wielding like a fucking assassin. So he wrestles her down to the ground, stabs both of them into her neck. She fucking dies. Right? I feel like it wasn't meant to be where she snaps the handle. Did you notice that? On one of them that snap that goes into her neck, she grabs hold of the handle and it breaks. I don't know. It
Interesting.
seemed a little weird.
I don't really
It was
remember
just
it.
a subtle thing that I noticed. So he's all bloody from fighting her. He picks up Baron. He's all fucking trying to fight him off. They go into the car and they book it out of the fucking out of the estate. As
And the
he's
police see it, and they're like, oh,
as
we're
he's
following.
as he's leaving, he basically almost runs over a fucking a Kappa, right? So then it's funny because apparently they have fun names for the cops. He's like, "This is Panda 1 over to Zulu 2. What do you got over there for me?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got a fucking apparently some guy's trying to kill his kid. That's kind of crazy. Let's see what's going on there." So it shows him driving erratically. He finally gets to the church, right?
On time.
On time. He then brings Baron von Trump to the altar and he's laying him down on the ground. He opens up the daggers and he has them over his head. And
Please,
what does
Daddy, no.
What does he say? He says something before he's about to do it. I know Baron says, "Please, Daddy, no," with his fun little voice, but I want to say Atticus says something like, "God help me." I think he said, something along the lines of like, "Oh, God help me." And then he's like about to like thrust down with his dagger. A cop shoots him. It goes in slow motion. You see the bullet fucking coming out of the gun. Super cheesy, right? Whatever.
Then it cuts to a military funeral. And this is what we talked about as far as caskets go. In the theatrical release, it's 2, but they filmed one that also had 3. And he's getting a military funeral, which is crazy to think that he has clearly disgraced himself in trying to kill his son. But earlier on, when they have their little walk by the water, you find out that he is best friends with the United States president, and that's probably why. Then you hear a voiceover, really bad ADR, where the, I guess, cabinet aide's like, "Hey, Mr. President, we need to leave." And you find out that Damien is now the ward of the president. So Richard Donner famously, in order to get the kid to smile, was like, "Don't you smile. You do not smile." And so the kid mischievously smiles, and that makes really the whole movie.
I like it.
And then the movie closes with, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Credits. That was The Omen.
I like it.
I really like this movie. I know I jokingly was talking about how I watched it in playback, but I just wanted to do that for expeditiousness. I think the movie's great. I think the pacing's fair. I think that the effects are fun. I think that the gravity is all there.
Yeah, I think the music ties in beautifully with it.
Yeah, Gregory Peck's awesome. So in terms of classic, trashic, tragic, where are you rating it?
I got to go with classic.
I go with classic as well. I don't think that it beats Lost Boys though.
It definitely doesn't beat Lost Boys, but it's up there. I mean, as far as it being as old as it is, and I say that in the nicest way possible. It's only in 1976, but there's a lot of shitty films that came out in 76.
Oh, absolutely.
So it holds its own.
I think it's a great film. I mean, I truly do, and especially in that kind of genre of Satanism and whatnot. I think that there's a lot of really bad content out there. There's a lot of bad, Satan stuff. That's why I'm really excited to touch on Legion next week, which is effectively the opposite of this, where that you have God trying to kill a savior and the whole plot around that versus everybody trying to kill the Antichrist. So I think that this is going to be fun. Before we sign off, I have to remind you all of the quest to 100. It is our campaign to try and get 100 subscribers on YouTube.
You can do it, guys.
Then we can get a custom URL and we'll be fucking famous. It'll be rad-tastic. Chad will have to do a lot less work.
Shithole job.
Yeah,
no,
right.
No, I won't.
I will not. We're not trying to monetize. We're not trying to do ad revenue. We're not trying to do that. We just want to make sure that we're getting this content out because we all have real jobs and real lives, and we want to make sure that the crazy amount of times that we've dedicated to this show is for something beyond just shit jokes and giggle farts here.
But then again, I'm not complaining because I like hanging out with these stooges.
Yeah.
So
it's a good time in the garage. I mean, the studio that we pay lots of money for. That being said, Brian,
if you ain't watching him dying, you ain't really trying.
Jake, I'm going to remind you to go out there and do something you love. And remember that all work and no power play makes Jack a dull boy.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.